Alright, so I've been having really good luck with these VEVOR tools, and today I just picked up this brand new chop saw from them, which is like a fraction of the price of what some of the leading models are. And today we're going to see how well this stacks up against the competitors. Let's start with getting this thing out of the box and seeing what's in there. Impressions right out of the box. This thing is built really well. It weighs every bit of 50 pounds. Now the reality is I went with this unit because I'm having a big project where I'm going to be cutting a lot of tube steel, and this is the perfect way to do it. Now I did have some other options out there and other machines. Now this is a quick comparison. The Evolution 14-inch chop saw is about $350 compared to the VEVOR at $240. Both have a 14-inch chop blade. The only difference I could see was the VEVOR turns at 1200 RPMs while the Evolution saw turns at 1450. So in my experience, the slower the blade turns, the less likely you are to have heat build up, ruining your blades and messing up your material. Now with that being said, let's get a closer look at the saw. So you can see overall this is a relatively huge machine compared to the size of my welding table. It has a really nice smooth operation through the whole cycle. Plenty of space to go through the table to complete your cut. Another closer look, the pivot point on this machine, now that is completely made of cast aluminum, both upright and the lower portion, making that extremely strong. Here's a quick example of how the material clamp works. Put your material in there, you can just push that tight. You flap that lever over so the threads grab, and you lock it into place. Using the clamp for miter cuts is quick and easy with this quick adjustment right here. Easily get it to where you need it, and I have that marked at the 30. Put the material on, we'll lock this down. Again, lock the material into place. Another nice feature this saw offers is when you're all done using it, it has this little thumb lever right here and locks the arm into place for easy storage. Just a quick look at the blade itself. Seems to be very high quality stainless steel. Really sharp looking teeth, but we're going to see how they hold up. Okay, I'm done talking about it, so let's start cutting some material and see how well this performs. All right, here's a look at some of the material we'll be cutting today. So in the back I have some 1-inch DOM tubing, followed by some 3/4 inch solid round bar. Right here, this is an aluminum seat post from a bicycle, so we'll try getting through that. And over here I have a 1-inch thick piece of aluminum. We'll chop that into several pieces. A 3-inch piece of angle, this is a 1/4 inch thick. A 5/8 inch thick bar. And I'll be doing a lot of cutting is this 1.5 inch DOM tubing. And lastly, this is a 2-inch box tubing. Okay, first thing up is I'm going to cut this piece of 1-inch solid aluminum. So we're going to get this chalked up in here and we'll get right through it. I thought this was solid all the way through, however there's a core in it, but it went right through that like nothing. Now let's move over to the round aluminum. All right, this is that round aluminum tube. Now you can see the last time I cut this, probably with just a cutoff wheel, how nasty that cut looks. So now we're gonna try it on this machine. Cut aluminum, no problem. Now let's move over and cut this 3-inch angle with that 1/4 inch thickness. It's another perfectly clean cut, went through that like nothing. All right, next up we have this 2-inch box tubing. So when for cutting stuff like this, it's very difficult for the blade to go across the full surface. So what you want to do is have it hit this angle here first. And this clamp makes it really easy with these grooves that you can see in it. Now that is actually sitting in a groove and maintaining its stability. Again, it went through that like nothing. This material is not even hot at all to the touch, which is amazing. Look at the difference between the plasma cut I did on this earlier, all nasty and gouged up, and that's a nice surface. Moving right along, now I'm going to cut this 1.5 inch DOM, and as you can see, this is a bit short for where I need to cut it. This is my cut mark that I need, and you can see it's not going to grab the full bit of the jaw. So I'm going to come back in here with this scrap piece. I'll put that together, we'll clamp it down, and we'll start our cut. Another perfect cut, and this thing is ready to go into my project. Moving on, we'll be loading up this piece of 5/8 inch thick bar stock, and we'll see how well this cuts. Here's that piece I just cut. I feel like no heat at all to that. Turned out really good. Now let's throw in this piece of 3/4 inch round bar. Again, no hesitation going through that material. That's exactly how it looks. You can just clean that little burr up with a file, and that's a nice clean cut. All right, last up is this piece of 1 inch DOM tubing, and this one's a little different because I need to cut this one at an angle. All right, if you can see that, I got my angle gauge set. It's actually over 45 degrees. And that made the clamp just get a little wonky, so I added a C clamp there just for some extra stability. And this is how it's clamped up in the front. All right, there's a look at that cut. Did that angle really well, and the clamp seemed to still hold on to it no problem. So far this machine is working great. Now I'm gonna go back to this piece of aluminum, and I need to cut this into 4 inch and 3/4 inch chunks to make some washers that I got going. That made real short work of that. All right, so there it is. I am 100% happy with this thing. It cut basically every piece of steel I had laying around the shop, as well as I was able to cut a few pieces I needed for my projects. And this is going to make my fabrication a lot easier in the shop. Now I'll leave a link in the description of where you can get one, and I'll thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.